In a bizarre moment of hypocrisy, former U.S. President George W. Bush said that borders must be respected. And he said this at a naturalization ceremony where they're bringing in new citizens to the country, which was hosted at the Bush Presidential Center in Dallas, Texas. I'm not kidding.
I believe we will see our way clear to immigration policies that are just, fair, and in the interest of the whole nation. That starts with recognizing a plain responsibility at the border. And in an often chaotic situation, being willing to state the obvious. Borders are not arbitrary, and they need to be respected along with the fine men and women of the immigration services and the Border Patrol.
He invaded 4 countries. The former U.S. president, under the pretext of combating terrorism, invaded 4 countries and is saying that borders should be respected when he had absolutely no respect for those borders whatsoever. The irony of this is it's unbelievable. Of course, people on social media were very quick to remind him of that, and then remind him that he is also a war criminal. But Bush's main point here was to find some kind of common ground between liberals and conservatives to get a kind of common sense immigration reform. While he's responsible for probably more refugees than many of the recent U.S. presidents, with the 4 wars that he carried out. I mean, it's unbelievable. This is the United States, a country that feels that it has the right to go into any other country, tell people how to live, force a government on them that they don't want, and then turn around and talk about respecting borders? Isn't this a lot like Israel, where the country has a perceived right to exist, talks about securing its own borders and that other people shouldn't be coming in, while it is literally stealing the land of someone else, that being the Palestinians? Isn't that just wholly appropriate? Isn't this a lot like the Nazis? I mean, I know to compare people to Nazis, but think about it. A perceived right, that being the master race, has an entitlement to take from others, to take other people's land, not respect their borders, while continue to try to isolate their society, saying other people have no right to come in. Isn't it just amazing? You have God's chosen people, and then you have, on the other hand, the master race. And then you have the United States with manifest destiny, a perceived right of superiority, while constantly making themselves out to be victims, while stealing land and stealing resources from everybody else. I mean, all these states were imperialist. That much is obvious. But you see the commonality. A particular stage in the development of capitalism, that being imperialism. But it's just so wholly appropriate that this same repeated perception of superiority and the right to take, while telling other people that they should respect borders. It's just utterly amazing that this happens. Here's another good example. That brigadier general that recently went on Fox News, Anthony Tata, and said and referred to Venezuela's oil as somehow is saying ours, when it's not even their country. And the lack of self-awareness that it takes to do that, while complaining about borders not being secured, is utterly amazing. And that is the true face of empire. That is the true face of someone or a group of people who feel that they are superior to everybody else and deserve to take whatever they want.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.